Polythene bags, ladies and gentlemen, are a ubiquitous environmental and toxic menace that needs to be removed from the environment. To fulfill these constitutional demands, my ministry has developed several policies, key among them being the sessional paper number 10 of 2014 on environment policy. The waste management agenda is further legislated in MCA Cap 287 and its associated waste management regulations of 2006. In addition, the National Solid Waste Management Strategy of 2014 further elaborates actions to be taken to address the waste challenge at the national and at also the county levels.
Today and tomorrow, we are here with partners and stakeholders at the KICC. We have had a very busy morning today and we will continue like that. We are exhibiting alternatives that are going to replace plastic bags, both carrier bags and flat bags that have been banned by the Gazette notice. So there have been very many questions from Kenyans about what are we going to do, what are we going to use after plastics have been banned or they are off the shelf. So there are a diverse number of stakeholders and a wide variety of alternatives that are in this place here. These alternatives include or mainly are concentrated on naturally occurring products in Kenya or made from naturally occurring material here in Kenya, as opposed to plastics which are made from petroleum and byproducts of which are polluting the environment, and the raw materials that are actually being imported from outside. So this is a good opportunity for Kenyans and we invite them here. Anyone with a question, this is all over media. It is on our website and the ministry. And then today, practically, here you can see for yourselves and choose what suits you, because going forward, these are the ones we are going to develop standards for, and these are the ones which are going to be available in the market for use. Every time you are shopping or you are carrying something that you used to do with a paper bag.
Now, Professor, come Monday, what should Kenyans expect, especially those who will be going to the shop on Monday?
If you go to the shop or to the supermarket on Monday, you should carry your own bag. That's one. If you don't carry your own bag, you should be prepared to carry things in a bag that you have paid for at the supermarket. So come Monday, there will be no free bag in the supermarket. And the ones that are going to be sold, the prices will range, so you can choose what suits you. The most important thing is to know that if you buy, then remember that you have to bring it back next time if you don't want to pay for another one. Other than that, take the bag with you, or alternatively, find a way of carrying your items without using any bags that are disallowed, because a lot of the time also you don't really need a bag to carry anything. It's perhaps you have bought unga and all you need is just to hold it in your hands. There is nothing wrong with that. And we are also encouraging even men, because we have heard people saying that men don't carry bags. I mean, carry a bag, and if you don't, if you are too cool enough to carry a bag, then be cool enough also to purchase the alternative which is being sold in the supermarket.
Now, Professor, there's been this fear that one, the detriment to the use of plastic bags is very punitive, that people will not be able to maybe pay the fine of 4 million shillings. Now, another issue is the issue of the manufacturers who claim that they've not been given sufficient time. Is this the case?
This is not the case at all. Let me start with the fines. Our intention for this is not to fine Kenyans or to do punitive things against them. Our intention is to create awareness that we need to clean our environment. So come Monday, Kenyans shouldn't expect us to go in the streets arresting people who are carrying paper bags. The law states that, and that may come after some time. What we want is for you, if you go to your kiosk, do your duty of cleaning or helping us to clean the environment for you, to create for you a good and healthy environment. Be aware that from Monday, every time you see a paper bag somewhere or a plastic bag, be aware that if you are holding it, then you are doing the wrong thing, you are breaking the law. If you find it somewhere littering, know that the reason why we are banning plastic is for that reason, and what we want is a clean and healthy environment. The law is there, but we want to start on Monday with the manufacturers, those who are importing, and those who are selling, like the kiosks and all that. So Kenyans, don't get scared that on Monday NEMA is out there arresting people. No, first we want you to understand, we want you to walk the path with us. But for those who are selling, for those who are selling the banned substances, be worried, because from Monday we are starting to crack the whip and we are going to make arrests, we are going to seek compliance. But for citizens, we urge you, because later on we are also working with the county governments. We want the county governments to be able to implement this thing. So it is not about going in the streets to arrest people who are carrying polythene bags. It is about Kenyans being aware where we want to go. But the law is there. Should there be need to implement the law, arrest and all that, we'll come to that. But I think that is not something we want to create the impression that that's what we are trying to do now.
The issue of consultation. Some of the manufacturers feel that they've not been consulted.
Yeah. Why we have failed in the past is that we have over-consulted, in fact. On our records, we have minutes of very many meetings, between 27 and 40 meetings, 27 minuted, and the number is counting. We have had meetings in the past. So we have records of this. But the issue of consultation is something which is historical. We've done this for 15 years, and for now, we are aware that Kenyans support us 100%. So if the product of what has happened is what we are observing, then we think actually we have over-consulted.
Now, 27 meetings and counting. What makes you, Prof, believe that this time around we are actually going to get it right, banning plastic use in the country?
We have the goodwill of Kenyans. We have set our strategy and we are implementing it. Before that, we didn't have this organized very well. Here we are actually implementing a strategy which we actually launched in 2015. So these are initiatives to launch a strategy. We are ready, we are prepared, and the government is acting on the goodwill of Kenyans. So we are doing this for the good of Kenyans. It's our constitutional duty to create a good and clean environment, healthy and clean environment for Kenyans, and this is what we seek to do.
I expect that on Monday, anyone going shopping will by now know that we are no longer issuing free plastic bags. From our end, what we intend to do is, as we work towards creating a culture of reduce and reuse, we intend to start charging a minimal cost for the bags available at the till for anyone who will have walked in without an alternative. However, we will have a whole range of other alternatives available for the shopper. So you can buy a bag that you can use for a longer period, which you can constantly come back to whatever supermarket you shop in to reuse. The bags may be branded, but we will be allowed to use any bag as long as it's a reusable bag in any outlet.
Now, Wamboi, we know very well that our economy has morphed into the Kadogo economy, where retailers actually repackage what has been purchased from maybe the wholesalers. How do you intend to deal with this particular challenge come Monday?
Okay, the DG and NEMA and the ministry are very categorical about it. What can be classified as primary packaging? For example, when you're selling meat must be packaged in a certain way because of the hygiene element. What they have continuously kept saying is that the paper you will then use now for the Kadogo industry has to be labeled. It has to be a paper that is traceable. So it must have the manufacturer's name so that that bag can be traced back to the person who made it. So now, that should be able to cover that Kadogo sector.
No, we are looking at, for instance, let's look at the informal settlements, where you find people repacking, maybe cooking oil in those polythene bags. How will you have this particular polythene bag branded so that this consumer does not get into trouble with the law? Okay,
as earlier stated, implementation of the ban will come with its challenges. But as we all know, Kenyans are very innovative. So even as NEMA starts its implementation at source, because that is where they will start, all industry will actually now wake up to that opportunity. And believe you me, we will have found a solution. Before a month is done, there will be a solution to what Kadogo will use more effectively to package the small quantities that she has previously packed in the flat polythene bag.
Now, one last question. You spoke about a culture change. Are we driving towards that? And are we going to succeed in it? And why do you think this time around we are going to succeed on this particular law?
I can give various examples. For example, when you go to your soko, you're already programmed that woman will not give you a green paper bag or a yellow one. You will buy it. So you don't even have a discussion with her when she tells you the 5 bob or 10 bob for this bag. That is one. If we use another example of when people used to smoke in the streets, implementation of the law banning it came with a lot of resistance of it's not workable, it's not implementable. But look at us now. In particular in Nairobi where I live, you don't see anyone walking around smoking. So the culture change can happen. The same thing with drop-in litter. At some point the city council started waiting for people at Kencom, for example, so that when you alight from your bus, the minute you drop your ticket, you're picked up. So now everyone woke up to, I can't just drop paper. You actually look for that bin. So the culture change will come. It's unfortunate that sometimes it requires a penalty for it to happen, but it will happen. It will happen, and it will be for the betterment of our environment.
Tell us, how did you get into this particular industry? What inspired you into starting off with this packaging industry?
Okay, first, since I'm involved in something called conservation, I was like, why don't we produce something which is environmental friendly? Yeah.
So did you just take it up, or somebody enticed you into taking up this particular challenge?
No, nobody enticed me into it. We are actually three of us, which are the directors. That is Sally, 3 of my cousins. So you are like one of them is a public health officer. So me as a conservationist, and another one is a public health officer. There's a day you are in Mombasa and you are like, look, there is even paper bag in
Now, you're a young person. There's been a scare that the introduction of the ban is actually going to deny people jobs. Just give us an insight. You're now an employer. Is this an opportunity for job creation, or actually it's actually denying people jobs? Actually,
this is an opportunity to create jobs for people like me. For example, I'm doing my master's. But since this is something I'm passionate about designing and all that. Actually, right now we have more than 10 workers, and we have created jobs for them. So it's upon the Nini themselves, the people themselves, to take up the banner and do it.
Thank you so much, Susan. O'Brien, we've had 3 people who have talked about the ban, and we are looking at Monday when the ban comes on the plastic industry. The Director General tells us no one will grab you from the street to punish you for carrying a paper bag. But there must be a culture change. According to Wamboi Barire of the retail traders, they are encouraging their members to start packaging in eco-friendly packaging so that we avoid this whole business of using plastic bags that are a danger to our environment. Back to you, O'Brien Kimani in studio.